reframe, and regulate. In the words of Keke Palmer, she said recently on the Jennifer Hudson show about herself, I'm the queen of a reframe, okay? It's not that I didn't get the role, it's that your movie no longer is going to be as good as it could have been because I'm not in it. Yes, ma'am. You didn't break up with me, you released me. End quote. When I heard her say this, I nodded at every word she said. This resonated with me deeply because I'm a believer that our perspective of life and on life can shift everything for us positively. How we process and move on from things are rooted in our self-belief and perspective. I do want to profess that anything done to you with malice and bad intent is not to be reframed into something positive, rather to be identified for the evil it is. I think it's important to say this because when we recognize reframing and its value, we need to make sure that's appropriate for different life events. Moving on. Given Keke Palmer's quote, when considering not getting a great opportunity or dealing with a breakup, things that can cause us distress, we can and should be reframed for us, as it doesn't benefit us remaining in feeling very negative just because we've lost something that we value. In this quote, when she reframed not getting the job, she elevated herself and added value to her talent that could have been added to the particular movie. And then with the breakup, she recognized being released from the toxic element of the relationship, insinuating that she was stuck and finding her freedom. You can read into what she said into as much as you want, but it exemplifies how she reframes those two situations. Staying on the theme of Keke Palmer today, there is a powerful moment and line in a recent movie she did co-starring with the artist Cesar. Cesare's character hypes Keke up by reminding her, I'm the one, not the two. I will have to admit, I have not yet watched the film, but my research suggests that in this Netflix movie, One of Them Days, the line, I'm the one, not the two, refers to the character's assertion of their individual identity and agency within a relationship or situation where they may feel their own needs are being overshadowed by the needs of another person. The line can be interpreted as a declaration of independence or a refusal to be defined by or be a secondary part of a relationship. Albeit this is not my interpretation, my opinion will be shaped once I watch it, but by seeing this clip on the internet resonated with me because sometimes we may feel overwhelmed by our own responsibilities and feel that we may take on the problems of things outside of our own individual lives and the world, causing us to feel overwhelmed. This line is a way we can regulate ourselves when feeling overwhelmed and remembering we are just one person. A problem shared is a problem halved. This idiom, a problem shared is a problem halved, suggests that talking about a problem with someone you can trust can make it feel less overwhelming and easier to manage. It implies that sharing the burden of a problem can lead to a feeling of relief and potentially even a reduction in the problem's impact. This is why it is important we should not feel that we have to be many people. We are just the one. Keke Palmer's work and interviews have inspired me to discuss the topic of reframing and self-regulation on today's episode. I want to exemplify how reframing can help us thrive and allow us to tap into our greatness. I also want to recognize that life's experiences have a way of moving both our moods and feelings into different directions. And when this becomes overwhelming, it is essential that we manage to self regulate as a means to remain balanced and have a clear state of mind. Before I delve into the how, it is important to explore the what. So, what do I mean when I say reframe and regulate? Reframing and regulating are both important aspects of coping with difficult situations and managing emotions. Reframing involves changing one's perspective on a situation, focusing on more positive or more helpful interpretations. That's the key. Regulating, on the other hand, refers to managing emotions, attention, and behavior, often in response to stress or challenges. So let's elaborate. Reframing, this technique, often used in therapy, helps individuals challenge negative or unhelpful thoughts patterns by shifting their perspective. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects of a situation, reframing encourages a more positive or realistic interpretation. For example, instead of seeing a failure as a personal flaw, one could reframe it as a learning opportunity or a step towards future success. This happens a lot in the workplace. Now, regulating. This refers to the ability to manage one's emotional responses, attention, and behavior effectively, especially in challenging situations. It's about finding ways to calm down when feeling overwhelmed, focus attention when feeling distracted, and manage impulses when feeling agitated. The relationship between the two, reframing and regulating, complement each other in terms of their techniques. By reframing a situation in a more positive way, individuals can reduce their emotional intensity associated with it, making it easier to regulate their emotions and behavior. Conversely, regulating emotions and behavior can create more space for reframing and developing new perspectives, so they work hand in hand. I am sure that so far in your life journey, so many things have happened that when you take a moment to reflect, you realize the impact that it has had on your life. What is so interesting about life events is that even when it's a shared experience with another person, the impact can differ depending on the individual. Now, this can be attributed to many things, and I'd like to focus on how individuals process an event and how this event shapes the perspective the person already has. The saying life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react emphasizes that while external events are important, your response to them significantly shapes your life. It suggests that focusing on your attitude and actions in the face of challenge can lead to more positive outcomes. The 10%. What happens? This refers to the external events, circumstances, and challenges that life throws your way. The 90%, how you react. This highlights the power of your response to these events. It emphasizes that your attitude, actions, and choices in the face of adversity can significantly influence your experience and outcome. How we react to things expose our ability to reframe and regulate ourselves in a matter of seconds. I want you to think of a very realistic scenario that may have happened to you at some point of your life. You are returning home from a long journey or a long day of activities outside of your home. You now approach your home and you're looking for the key to your door and cannot locate it. What is your first thought or reaction? Do you scream? Do you need a nervous pee? Do you restep every journey you've taken that day? Do you strip down your bag and coat and look for your key in a panic manner? Or do you take a moment to breathe and tell yourself you're okay? Does your mind give you permission to look again calmly and tell you, I just haven't found it yet, but I will? Do you have a surety and believe that you'll be able to enter your home eventually? Life is not perfect, and neither are our reactions to it. However, as a person going on a journey in self awareness, it is important to assess how we show up in these moments and practice our ability to have more confidence in ourselves, opposed to being in a state of worry. When looking to reframe and regulate ourselves, we need to learn to take responsibility for our reactions. Instead of passively accepting events, actively choose how you will respond. Respond to things in line with your character and values. We need to take time to focus on our mindset. Proactively cultivate a positive attitude and perspective, even in the face of difficulty. This can be difficult, but life doesn't get any easier. It just gets more complex and nuanced. We need to not run away from, but seek to embrace resilience, developing the ability to bounce back from setbacks and learn from challenges. And most importantly, remember that we can only control what we can. Whilst you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you react and move forward with your life. When we reframe and regulate at the same time, we make sure that we consciously are tapping into the part of our brain that is both emotional and rational. We are human, we have feelings, and also are logical. For us to thrive in a way that feels authentic and gives a sense of integrity, reframing and self regulating offers us a level of clarity that enables us to thrive and truly tap into the greatness we all inhabit. The tools and techniques you utilize are not the important thing. What's important is the impact it has on your mind and ability to process the events that happen in your life. At the end of each episode, I address the queendom. When things in your life feel overwhelming, regulate yourself and reframe your perspective so that your outlook becomes helpful to you and your journey. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of my podcast.